everyone. So I decided to make another video today. Um, Not a bird-related video, unfortunately, but somebody just came in and left, obviously, um, with an issue that I hear very often, and I'm sure anybody who is into dog training and dog behavior, or who has a dog, or who knows somebody who has a dog, will hear this often. And it's a complaint that kind of gets to me, and it usually goes something like, I just got a dog, or we've had a dog for a long time, and he pulls on the leash, and we don't walk him because he pulls on the leash. What do I do? Um, and I'm kind of feeling like this video is kind of related to the video that I made about why dogs shed. So this video is going to be about why dogs pull on a leash. Um, you have to understand that um, dogs don't see leashes as a natural thing. Um, your dog might see it as a normal thing, but genetically speaking, um, dogs aren't bred to walk on leashes, right? They're bred to herd dogs or herd sheep. They're bred to swim out into the ocean and collect nets. They are bred to find people in the snow. They're bred to chase rabbits. They're not bred to walk on a leash. They're taught how to walk on a leash. And a lot of my friends laugh at me when we go out for walks. I live out in the country, and I don't often walk my dogs on leashes. And when I do have to walk my dogs on a leash, I find it very frustrating, because to me, my dogs are very well behaved, and a lot of people will say to me, well, you've got, one of the stubbornness, that it's just a breed that's known for being stubborn. I have a Basset Hound, and I get lots of people who say, oh, my Basset Hound this, my Basset Hound that, and, how do you do it? How do you get her to walk on a leash? And it really, to me, what pulling on a leash boils down to is a lack of communication, a lack of trust, a lack of leadership, a lack of a bond between you and your dog, an understanding that needs to happen here. Because you have to remember, to a dog who spends his whole day, not following you around, not having to listen, not having to, follow any sort of direction, you throw a leash on a dog, and that's not going to come naturally, because they're going to want to go sniff things, and there's this thing around their neck or around their body, and you're attached to it. They don't understand that, that's what they're doing, that they're pulling you, and that's causing you discomfort. And a lot of people will complain that their dogs pull a lot, and then that's why they don't take their dog out, which then, of course, makes the problem worse, because now your dog is lacking in exercise and socialization and mental stimulation, and that just makes this whole thing go crazy. So one thing that I try to explain to people when they're first trying to teach their dog how to walk on a leash is that your dog needs to be on a level with you, that they understand that you're in this together. That, there's a time for sniffing, there's a time for peeing on things, and if your dog doesn't understand that, it's going to pull you around, because there's not going to be any sort of communication. All your dog is going to be thinking to itself is, there's something over here, I want to sniff it, so I'm going to run over here and sniff it. And that's where this fails, and there are lots of reasons why your dog could be pulling it. It could be because they're excited and they want to go running and they want to get all that energy out of them, or there's something over there that they want to sniff. There are lots of reasons. Maybe they don't understand that, this is causing you discomfort, or they've been allowed to pull. Maybe they've come from a different home, and the dog has always been allowed to pull on a leash, and now you're telling them not to, and they're like, well, why? I was only allowed to before, and now I'm not allowed to. And there are a lot of things you can do to help teach your dog that it's beneficial to do this together. And that's where people see with my say, well, why does she listen to you so much? And it's because I listen. I listen to her and she listens to me. If she's pulling me on a leash, if she's pulling me around and not listening, that's not her fault. That's my fault. I am not providing her with the stimulation she needs. She doesn't want to listen to me because she's excited and she wants to go out and run and get all that energy out of her. I kind of um, put it in comparison to a bottle of pop. You gotta picture your dog like a bottle of pop, and the more you shake that bottle of pop, the more pressure builds up inside that bottle. And then when you go outside and you let that top off, it's gonna come shooting out of the top of this bottle, and it's just gonna make a huge mess. And that's where people seem to get lost, is that they have this bottle that has been shaking and shaking and shaking and shaking, and now they don't know what to do with it because they really want to take a sip and enjoy that pop, but they don't want to open the lid because they're scared of what's going to happen, and that's okay. This is a problem that we can fix. It's not the end of the world. It's not, this is something that we can work on, that you can work together with your dog to slowly release that pressure. Now, that being said, some dogs, you're just going to have to let the lid off and make a mess and enjoy every second of it. And if you're not prepared to do that, then this problem is not going to go away. Um, so really you need to sit down with yourself and with your dog and decide what plan of action you need to take, because some dogs need to go out somewhere where you can take the top off that bottle and dance in the foamy, disgusting deliciousness that erupts out of it. Other dogs, you can do it a little bit more slowly, but I see it notoriously with hunting dogs, any dog that fits under the sporting category, really. Um, so, like your golden retrievers and your labs and your spaniels, your hunting breeds, and then your working dogs, especially your spitzes. So, like your huskies and your Akitas and the Eskimos. These dogs, I find, are the ones that need to go out and just burn. Just get all the farts out of them and have a blast. And this always seems to be the scariest part for people. I don't know if you notice, but my hand is really swollen. I got bit by a cat yesterday. Um, this part is always the scariest, and I get it. It's scary because you don't know what's going to happen. But one of the best things that I recommend to people is to go out somewhere where there's no threat of cars. Go to a dog park. Go to a quiet location where it's just you and your dog, and take the leash off and just let them go. Just let them go. And I promise your dog will come back. Now, unless your dog is a crazy, ridiculous dog who has absolutely no idea what it's doing and you are 110% sure it is not going to come back, definitely go for a fenced-in place. But most dogs, I would say 99% of the dogs that I've worked with, that I've taken out into the bush and opened the door, have come back. I had one dog that gave me a bit of a hard time until I jumped in my car and drove down the street, and he figured we were running, and about 5 minutes later, after he'd kind of gotten all the exploding craziness out of him, he was happy to come back. But that's the biggest thing, and that's the biggest reason why I think people are confused between a dog who doesn't listen and a dog who is just really excited and doesn't know what to do with itself. And this is where listening comes in. If your dog is so excited and crazy to see you and you go out and sniffing everything and pulling, maybe your dog isn't getting enough exercise. And he's trying to tell you, Ma, this slow walk ain't doing it for me. We need to move a little faster. I need to get some more of this energy out. If your dog is acting really sluggish, maybe it's not comfortable. Maybe it doesn't like the leash that you're using, or the harness, or the collar, or it's too quiet, or it's too loud, or I'm hungry. Like, there are so many things that go into this. Um, and you need to build that relationship with your dog so that you can teach your dog, and you can make an agreement with your dog about what needs. My dog Daisy, who's sleeping like right there, I can see her. Me and Daisy are on the same page, and I can't stress to you enough how important it is to be on the same page as your dog. I don't know how many dogs I see who come in, who are not walked, who are not played with, who are not exercised properly, and who come in and they're bouncing all over the place. They have no idea what's going on, and it's because they don't know what to do with themselves. They're just that crazy bottle of pop waiting for the top to come off so they can go crazy. So if you don't give your dog that opportunity, your dog is going to keep pulling on that leash. Your dog is going to continue going through the garbage and jumping around the house like a lunatic and barking at everything that walks by the window. There is a reason why your dog is pulling on a leash, and you need to figure out what that reason is. And I can almost guarantee you that reason is not because he's being a pig-headed idiot. It's because that there's something missing. Something is not adding up in your dog's head, and he needs to do something to tell you that something is wrong. Dogs are not creatures that think to themselves and plot against you and are spiteful. It's a very direct, cut and dry method. I'm excited, so I'm going to move faster. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Now, I am not opposed to bribery. I am not opposed to training tools that will help you to walk your dog until he learns how to control the energy, or you give them the opportunity to take away all the stops and let them be an idiot. Because some dogs need that. It's just like little kids that, when you gotta pee, and you really have to pee, and nothing else is making sense to you because you really have to pee. Like, I don't know how else to explain it, other than your dog needs stuff to happen in his head. He can't just sit in front of the TV, the radio, nothing, all day and wait for you to come home and then get really excited because you slept all day. Now you're gonna go do something, and then you get mad at them because you're pulling on a leash. Well, your dog is trying to tell you something. There's a reason for this. So, if your dog is one of those dogs who is trying to tell you, we need to go out more often, we need to go out running, or find some sort of constructive exercise so that I feel better, there are things you can do, and I totally get it. I have a Saint Bernard, and I cannot walk. I've got bad legs and, on a normal day, 2 good hands. I can't walk an idiot down the street and risk breaking my hip again. Um, and that's okay. Yes, I totally agree that your dog should not be pulling you around like an idiot, because that is disrespectful from your dog's point of view. Even though there's something that they need and you're trying to provide it, there's a line to me where things go from I am in need to exercise to I'm being just an idiot. And if you can't find a safe place for your dog to go, you're going to take them out running, but you can't walk them on a flat collar because they're pulling you all over the place, by all means, there are training tools and things that are out there to help you. There are specially designed walking harnesses that make it harder for your dog to pull you so that you can enjoy the walk together. Halties are one of my favorites. They are very easy to put on. Most dogs tolerate them. Not all dogs, but most dogs will tolerate them. And they just make the whole experience better. And when you're having a better experience, your dog's having a better experience, and everyone's better, and you're going to want to go out more often. I know a lot of people are against prong collars, but I have seen some dogs that those are the only option you have. My dog is not food motivated. She is not good with a haltie. She is way too strong for a haltie. We can't put a harness on her because she just pulls you harder. And there are times when I have to walk her places, either to go out for our run and she's really excited to go, which is totally, like I said, totally my fault, and we should have gone earlier, and I should have let it got to this point. But I need to stay safe. She needs to stay safe. Nobody needs to get hit by a car or break things. So she's walked on a prong collar. My Basset Hound walks on a martingale fabulously. My sister's Chihuahua walks best on a harness. You need to listen to your dog. The reason why your dog pulls is because you are not listening to your dog. And it's going to take some time. This is not something that's going to happen overnight. But listening to your dog is going to make a huge difference in your relationship with your dog. And you will be able to find out what your dog's reason is for pulling. So, I hope you learned something. I hope you take my words to heart. If you have any questions, please leave me some. I like to answer questions. I hope you have a good day wherever you are and you don't get bit by cats. Take your dog out for a walk. I'll see you next time.